Cam Thomas went for 40 last night
Okay, but
in San Antonio.
the way I can't gauge really how good Austin Reeves is if we did a list like top 100 players, I can't figure out the Cam Thomas thing. He had 0 assists, 40 points. Some of the shot making is like 1% of the NBA could make those kinds of
He
shots.
makes he makes some of the hardest shots in basketball. And that with that comes at a price where when he misses those, they can be very deflating. So those shots, you have to be cheered on to do it. It's like Steph takes horrendous shots, man. Sometimes he has a history of making them. So he's now encouraged to do so. They'll be on like a 10-2 run coming back to the game. Steph will come over half court and launch one and miss it. And you'll see Steve sometimes be like, is that? But you can't question it because that it's Steph, and that's what he does. He's been able to do it his whole career. He makes these type of momentum shots, but he's encouraged to do so much that his teammates come over half court and they're looking for him to launch one of these things because it can change a game. Cam Thomas does this, but his team doesn't win championships. He's on a bad team, which isn't against. It's not his fault, but he takes these tough shots, makes them too. But when he misses it, people are like, "See, that's why people don't want to pay him. He's bad offense." But it's like, yo, he makes these things too. So it's very hard. I say also to say I agree with you. It's very hard to judge and gauge Cam Thomas because you cannot deny there is no reason this guy should be making what he's making right now. All right. He got hoed out in free agency. Let's just call it for what it is. All right. He did not get paid a fraction of what he should be getting paid if we're talking talent and scoring ability. Why? The outlook on him is that he's selfish and doesn't know how to play winning basketball and he takes bad shots. What I'm looking at so far is this guy's going to average 28 to 30 points a game this year. He's doing something right.
Right.
So it's like that's the part. It's like I don't know how to gauge. By the way, the Brooklyn Nets roster is awful. They were in that game last night.
Only because of him. That's what I'm trying to
Only, only,
say.
only because of Cam. He kept making tough shots to keep them in. Every time the Spurs are going to run, Cam would hit a double clutch step back three. He was doing this the whole game. So it's like you're saying, oh, he doesn't win. Well, the only reason they were even in a chance to win the game last night is because Cam had 40.
Right.
But guess what? The stat that highlighted. What did everybody talk about last night?
0 assists.
0. So that's what it's like. He don't get paid to do that though. But we let other stars get away with that all the time. Yeah, look, he had 33 and 9 assists versus Cleveland the game before. So somebody here is we're not doing. You know what I'm saying? Like something's not
His
right.
production and the market value, yeah, it's not aligning.
It's
Something's
not
wrong.
correct. It's not
Yeah.
correct. He's
Yeah.
going to be one of those guys that's going to retire and going to be like, man, I didn't make a fraction of what I was supposed to make. And when people ask why, he's going to have a hard time explaining it because I can't even explain it right now in the moment. I can't take his team record against him because they've been ass every year he's been there. Okay? With the exception of the first year he was there when he wasn't going to play because they had Kyrie and James Harden and KD. So he wouldn't go play. So this guy got no tick the first couple of seasons because he had that shit going on. Then that chaos, which was a mess. He had to be. This is what he was around as a rookie. Not the easiest environment to be in. Just to give him the benefit of the doubt. All of that leaves. He's been the only young guy that they've had who has developed and developed and developed and developed and developed and just continues to get looked at like, I just don't know a handful of guys that can just come off the bench or not and just give you 30 something. I just don't. I don't know a lot of guys maybe that could do that. Yet he gets paid like what does he make? He makes 6-7 million a year. He's
Like 60 a year qualifying offer.
A couple million over vet minimum. It's bullshit. But it goes around. You know, Russell Westbrook last night had like 18, 9, and 8. My man's on vet minimum. How? My man just signed a week ago, but last night he had 18, 8, and whatever. But I got Christian Braun signed a $125 million deal. I'm watching him versus the Warriors just run up and down.
That's just gonna bother you. That's always gonna bother you. I've noticed.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just don't understand. So like, it has nothing to do with Christian Braun. I don't have anything against Christian Braun. It's just a point to make. Like, I don't understand. Is Cam Thomas makes $6 million a year? This guy makes 30.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that you talked about where it's overlapping talent, where you have Reeves, Luka, and LeBron. A good team probably just can't bring in Cam Thomas. If you go to the Cavs, they can't bring him in with Garland and Mitchell. Like, how many teams need a guy to score 40 and not get an assist? Like, it's a very rare,
No,
but
I
it's
don't think
super talented. He's
I
super talented.
disagree. Though I think in a league that's highlighted only scoring, we're having a problem with a guy who's too good at scoring.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you go pay someone else to pass the ball? Why do we need him to be a trip? By the way, he just had 33 and 9 versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. So he is capable. On a night where no one can throw a ball in the ocean or rock in the ocean, why is he blamed for having a 0 assist? At 40. Why don't we just talk about the 40 he had?
Yeah.
Why does it have to be 40 with 7 assists? Why does it have to be like that? What does he have to be, Luka? He's not Luka. He's a scorer. When Lou Will used to score 35, nobody, or Jamal Crawford would come off the bench and score 30. Nobody's like, well, how many assists did Jamal have? It wasn't even a question because
Yeah.
we know bringing him in the game.
He's got bad PR on him, man. That's just what it is. That's a good point because these other guys, you get celebrated for it.
Yeah, they get celebrated for scoring, but then with him, bro, they call Michael Porter, that's my homie. They call him Michael, the possession ends here, Porter, all the nicknames. He gets celebrated for shooting the ball every time. He gets paid $30 million a year to shoot the ball every time and not make plays. But then Cam Thomas is out here a bucket. Don't like him.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't win. He's been on the Brooklyn Nets his whole career.
Hopefully one day we'll see him play some meaningful basketball and we can see how good he is really.
Hey, man, listen. Who's a really good team that struggles putting the ball in the basket?
Milwaukee Bucks?
Yeah, for instance. You're telling me Milwaukee couldn't use a goddamn Cam Thomas come to the bench? You lied.
Well, they got Cole Anthony right now, and he's hooping for them.
And he's cooking. And look how they're letting Cole go. Could you imagine if Cam Thomas is on the Bucks bench and they just had him to man, get out of here. This is what I'm saying. Cam Thomas should be making at the minimum, Cam Thomas should be making $20 million a year at the minimum.
I agree with that.
He's too good of a scorer, guys. Okay, this has gone too far. I watched that game last night and I felt bad. Every time he scored, I got angrier. I would be like, yo, this dude's hitting sidestep threes, baseline, behind the basket to keep his team in. Every night he's going out there scoring 30 or more, and they gave him like $6 million a year. It's a sham. It's a
the percentage of points he scores for the team and how much of his salary takes up their cap. It's something. It's not.
It doesn't equate. It doesn't.
If this was the NFL, there'd be a holdout. There'd be something.
Oh no, bro. Listen, if this was 90% of other players, they would have gotten paid. I don't know what it is specifically about Cam Thomas that has rubbed people the wrong way. I don't know what's going. I've never heard any instance of him getting in trouble. I don't know anything. Nothing has come back. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
We could spend a whole pod trying to dissect this and figure it out. We wouldn't get to it. So
the Nets put out a little video on him and his upbringing and everything, like a 20-minute video. I watched it, and he's the all-time leading scorer at Oak Hill University. So it's just not an accident. This guy has just been, and Oak Hill's obviously Oak Hill. This guy has been a bucket throughout. He seemed like a great kid, and I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I think he has bad PR. People make the jokes like they made about Michael Porter. The difference is Michael Porter gets paid. He won a title, though.
But Michael was on the Nuggets and got a title. So that's my point. That's why I brought up Michael. If you put Cam Thomas on the Celtics right now instead of Anthony Simmons, you say, yeah, we need you to go score. His outlook would be completely different. He'd be out there scoring 30 for the Celtics, helping them win, and people would just be like, yo, this guy is he'd be making $30 million a year. But he's been wasting away in Brooklyn this whole time through their trial years. They're still in trial and error now. They still are in trial and error. Their two best players are him and Michael Porter Jr. It's trial and error. It's not like they're competing for a championship. So, like, he just gets the butt end of this. It just doesn't make sense to me. And it's like sad because I'm watching, and again, I'm not using Christian Braun as a scapegoat. I'm nothing against him. He's a good player. He's a good role player. But this is happening all over the league. You're getting these wings who don't do anything but hit a couple shots and just run around and defend and play hard. Good players, Christian Braun. He's going to have like 12 points, 10 points, 4 or 5 rebounds, 2-3 assists, couple steals, a deflection or two. That's his niche right there. $125 million. This guy is going to average 28 a game. The object of the game is to put the ball in the circle. You got to put the ball in the circle more than the other team to win the game. He does it just about better than anybody else, and no one wants to pay him. So unless we don't know something, unless we're missing something here. Now, people say, well, it's bad shots. Well, right now his percentages are showing he's making them.
Right.
And that's why I brought up Steph. Because Steph shoots bad shots all the time, but he makes them so no one talks about it. Damian Lillard used to do 2-3 good shots, and then that fourth shot was a heave. And you live with it because it's Dame. So why does Cam, he just hit 2 middies, he just pump faked and got a layup. Why is his sidestep 3 being talked about? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just telling you, bro, there's something, the PR around Cam, because it's anyways.